Has Fortnite finally threw in the towel and is just giving up on Fortnite OG? Guys, it seems like Fortnitemares completely forgot about the OG mode, with Fortnitemares seemingly taking over just about the entire game across multiple modes. You know, Reload got a new map, BR is completely decked out with changes, OG got little to absolutely nothing for promotion material, at least for Fortnitemares right now. It's like Fortnite just completely forgot the mode even exists, or maybe they just don't care about the OG mode anymore. Now, I know a lot of us were really hyped thinking we'd see a full Fortnitemares takeover across Battle Royale, Reload, and OG as well. And to be fair, they did that for 2 of the 3. But of course, OG is just being left behind. And it kind of seems like that's a recurring problem with OG, is that Fortnite just seems to not really prioritize it like they do the other modes. It's really hard to not feel like Fortnite might have actually just given up on this mode with how little they're doing for it lately. I know they've been communicating a little bit more, but with this non-promotion of OG Season 6, along with there being nothing for Fortnitemares, it's very, very confusing. So we're going to talk about what is going on in Fortnite OG. Why exactly did they get no Fortnitemares event, even though it would have been absolutely awesome with a lot of people looking forward to it, and what this means for OG going forward. And if you guys haven't already, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, because OG Season 6 originally had one of the best Fortnitemares updates ever back in 2018. That was peak Halloween Fortnite. Like, when I think of Halloween Fortnitemares, like, what makes everybody interested in that event? It is the original event, one of the first ones where they put in a bunch of effort, and that was in 2018 in Chapter 1, Season 6. You had the husks, the zombies spawning, the purple fog, the corrupted zones. It was very spooky, it was chaotic, and at the least, it was unforgettable. I don't think anyone doesn't remember that mode. It's one of my favorite seasons ever. And honestly, with OG Season 6 making a return during this Fortnitemares, this was the perfect opportunity to bring that all back. And honestly, you guys, it's really weird to think about, because if you don't know, Fortnite actually changed the dates that OG was going to like change into different seasons so that OG Season 6 would be aligned with Fortnitemares and Halloween and things like that. Yet they didn't do any Fortnitemares stuff for this season. It's very, very weird. But here's where it gets even more confusing. Leakers are saying that husks are actually going to be coming back to OG, but not until later in the month. But why? This literally is Fortnitemares Season 6. This is literally the exact time. And what makes this even more frustrating is there was even hype around how the husks would look. Would they be red this time, or would they stay purple, kind of tied to the cube, or, you know, maybe the spirit realm, or whatever spawned in the red cube or made Kevin red? All of that just kind of fizzled out of nowhere, and there's really no hype about Fortnitemares in OG now. It's such a missed opportunity in my opinion, because imagine how sick it would have been to load into OG and have that full Fortnitemares vibe hit you the same way it does in BR and Reload. I think it was a huge missed opportunity, and something I think they may actually regret. So let's talk about what we actually did get in the OG mode, because it's not completely nothing, but it's pretty close to nothing. There are a few Halloween decorations on the map. Of course, we have some pumpkins, there's some webs, some subtle changes, but that's about it. There's like this Halloween store in Retail Road like we've seen many times before. People were hoping for at least some thick fog or a darker color tone for the sky, something to kind of shift the vibe and make it seem like, hey, this is a Halloween event. And the irony of the fog is actually kind of hilarious, and I know a lot of you guys are going down to the comments right now saying, Prozero, you complain about the fog all the time, but hear me out for a second. Last season, Fortnite added fog where it didn't make any sense. It kind of plagued Season 5. There was too much fog on the map. Right before Season 5 left, they actually changed it and made it right, which was absolutely perfect. The game looks very similar to how it did in Chapter 1 now, which I commend them for that. Everyone was begging for them to tone it down. And now, this is the one time it actually makes perfect sense to bring fog in, and they're not doing it. It honestly feels like OG is just being neglected, you guys, and that Fortnite forgot about one of the most iconic seasons, one of the most iconic seasonal events they're literally rerunning in Fortnite right now. I'm not going to lie, you guys, it kind of makes me wonder, maybe Fortnite didn't have a Fortnitemares event update for OG in particular because they wanted as many eyes as possible on the regular BR mode and Reload. As you guys know, we're about to go into a pretty controversial mini season, but if Fortnite knows that they're cooking up something really good along with Chapter 7, maybe they'll want as many eyes as possible, and they just didn't think it was worth it to have people distracted by the OG mode. That's definitely a valid theory. So So why exactly is this such a big deal? Why does it actually matter? Because Epic has clearly been trying to make OG more accurate to how it originally was. They made a whole point to change the cube back to purple and do all types of other things to making sure that OG is as OG as possible, along with removing double pump and things like that. In their article that they posted, they literally asked people to tell them what they felt was OG, which was very controversial. But then if accuracy is the goal, why drop the 6-shooter and the crossbow early instead of saving them for the Fortnitemares update like they originally did? The 6-shooter and the crossbow were not introduced in Fortnite Season 6 until Fortnitemares actually came out, and if they're wanting it to be exactly how it was when Fortnitemares dropped in the BR mode, they should have dropped Fortnitemares with the husks and everything like that in the OG mode as well on the 9th, but of course that didn't happen. Now, even if some people didn't like the husks, I would have liked to see them come back for a few days even, just for the nostalgia factor, just to make it feel like I'm actually back in Season 6. If they're going to fully commit to a faithful recreation of OG, then they need to commit to it fully. Like, no, if they're going to switch back to purple, and I've said this before, if they're going to switch everything back to purple, no chaos cubes or whatever they're called, like the red cubes and things like that on the map. I think the biggest thing is the inconsistency here just makes it feel like OG is an afterthought, like they'll fix some stuff to make it more OG. Now, I don't know if you guys know who Tricky on YouTube is. I assume you do because we kind of make the same sort of content. He made a similar video to the one that I am making right now today and what I'm talking about, and he talked specifically in his video about how there is still a big audience for OG, and I think that's something a lot of people forget. Like, it does maintain a good amount of players, about 50,000 across both of the modes, so I don't really understand why it's such an afterthought to them, like they're not prioritizing it. There's a huge audience for OG as well, you guys can see through both of our channels. I mean, Tricky has made a whole audience around OG. I have a bunch of really popular videos talking about OG. There's so many people who want this to succeed and want Fortnite to just commit to making it either OG or different, just putting in a little bit more effort. And it's not just me talking about this in terms of Fortnitemares and kind of the neglect of OG. A ton of people in the community are confused too. You know, from the start, OG Season 6, and we've talked about this before, had zero promotion. There was no trailer, there's no new lobby background, absolutely nothing. Not even a blog post saying what's new. So people were thinking that maybe Fortnitemares on the 9th was the moment they'd start actually hyping up OG, maybe give us a specific Fortnitemares trailer, but nope. Still no trailer, no new key art, still the same menu and everything. People were really excited. People were ready for OG to go into this Halloween vibe, and we just got radio silence. It's really weird because you're bringing back one of the most iconic seasons in Fortnite history during the most hyped Halloween event probably ever with all of these collabs, and the mode looks absolutely untouched compared to its launch. Look, you guys, I want to make this absolutely clear. I love the OG mode. I've had a blast playing it. I think this is actually one of the best seasons that they've made so far in terms of like gameplay. The nostalgia is there. The map still does feel great, and it's a fun break from the main game. But what I want is this mode to thrive the way that it should, and it's just confusing to see Fortnite give so little attention to it. They even put out a whole blog post a while back saying they were going to start fixing OG, listening to feedback, and putting more effort into it. But now, like I said, we're in one of the most exciting times of the year, and they're not even promoting OG Season 6. It's one of those things that just doesn't make sense. It's hard to not feel like Fortnite's quietly just giving up on OG right in the middle of one of its most important throwback seasons. So all in all, you guys, OG is still fun, but it definitely deserved more for Fortnitemares. This was the time to go big. Bring back the husks, add the fog, give it that creepy energy that made Chapter 1 Season 6 so special. Hopefully we still get something later in the month, but with how things are looking, I'm not gonna hold my breath, including all of the little bugs that they have in OG. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys expect more from OG this Fortnitemares, or are you cool with them focusing just on BR and reload? Let me know. Drop a like on today's video. You watched all the way to the end. You must have enjoyed, so drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. I make videos like these every single day. Use code PROZEROYT in the Fortnite item shop, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.